Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that your weekend so far this Labor Day has been a good one. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the maitre d', and I am the host of the Saturday Night Supper Club, a very refined gathering of News-ees and other members of Fedora Nation and those who are curious intellectually about what the heck is going on in the world. A nice, quiet little place where we can gather, listen to some music, catch up on some news, see what in the world happens, talk about it all, and boy, have we got a lot to talk about tonight. So please, check your coats at the door. Our fine staff will take you to your seats. We'll pull out a chair, let you sit down, take a look at a moment or two to look at the menu. And there's quite a few things on the menu this evening. News from everywhere, memes galore, stories to be had, conversation awaiting all of us as we sit down tonight at the Saturday Night Supper Club. This supper club may be found on Rumble, it may be found on Twitter, and that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please do your host some favors. Number one, please, if you're not subscribed to my channel on Rumble and YouTube, please go ahead and do so. We are putting on a show that is just for you. Number two, share the link around to your friends. Tell your mothers, your brothers, your lovers, your sisters, your misters, your frenemies, your enemies, your friends, everyone in between. Hey, come on in. This looks like this is going to be really interesting tonight. Number three, do not forget to leave comments, hit the thumbs up button. All of that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. As we gather together for this Saturday Night Supper Club. Band's warming up over there. Nice little trio playing. Got a guy on piano, got a guy on the drums, got a guy on the bass. Sound really, really good together. Anyway, again, my name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. This is the Saturday Night Supper Club. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube. So please, settle into your chairs. Let's prepare to have some fun this evening. Have a good time, laugh amongst ourselves, cry if necessary, but mostly laugh. Share the news. A lot of it's good. Some of it's a little scary, but that's all right. We're going to get through it all together. Oh, let's see. Crowd is settling in. Looks like a very nice group of individuals hanging out together, talking amongst ourselves. Ah, yes. Wonderful, wonderful crowd. Let's see who all is here so far. TBA says, howdy, Fedora Nation. It's the end of August. WWG1 says, who is the man with the hat? If you don't know who I am by now, I'm going to fire you as a wingnut. No, I can't fire you. I'm not paying you anything. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, man. Glad to have you here now. Let's see who else is in the house so far. Will there be a good cover band tonight? Well, the trio that was playing in the background kind of serves as the cover band. They're kind of here. They're kind of here for every session. I got them on discount. They said something about needing a place to kind of work since they just recently come into the country. I don't know what that meant, but they were a swarthy brown complexion. I'm just saying. No, we do not serve anything with seed oils. We do not. We do not indeed. Z Highness. Mwah! Love you, darling. Hello, how are you? Good evening, madame. Glad to see you. She would like a Mai Tai with a brisket. Garçon! The Michigan lady wants a brisket and a Mai Tai. Get on that, okay? Chop, chop. Go. Move it. Move it. Don't make me fire you tonight. You just hired. Don't need that kind of labor problems. Victrola works great. Jeez. Look, I know I'm hard up for technology on this live stream, but I'm not quite that bad off. Jeez. Hey, Willie. Table number 4 over here. WWG1, his glass is empty. Let's work on it. Go. Gotta crack the whip with these people. It's like, psh, terrible, man. Anyway, glad you guys are here tonight for the Saturday Night Supper Club. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative and your host and the maitre d' at this fine internet establishment. And let's get ready to have some fun. I tell you what, the memes are glorious right now. And as was mentioned by TBA over on Rumble, that we are at the end of August. We are about about to enter the fall season, which means around the corner will be October, which means sooner or later Halloween. However, apparently, for those of certain religious persuasions, other seasons have been entered into. And gentlemen, we do a lot of things here at the Saturday Night Supper Club, and one of them is, aside from dispensing humor and news and laughs and conversation, we are also here, gentlemen in particular, we're here to give you dating advice. So with that in mind, please observe the following. If that hot goth witch chick suddenly gives you a chance this month, don't fall for that shit. It's sacrifice season. Run like a mother effer. Trust. Yeah. Just saying, guys. Look, all that black hair, thick makeup, the eyeliner, don't get lured in. I'm telling you, this is not so much about you as much as it's about her. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. So never let it be said that we here on the Electronic Front Porch, and more particularly the Saturday Night Supper Club, did not do everything we can to try to take care of our patrons, okay? Now TBA, her buttocks, look, I am not going to fault you for taste or your tastes, okay? But I'm just saying, be a little bit discerning because, frankly, everything may not be what it appears with these girls. I'm just saying, TV is like, obviously I have a wretched sense of humor. I am not going to comment on your sense of humor. Thank you very much. Okay. What else do we have by way of the meme makers? Oh, by the way, all of you generation folks out there who are a part of Generation X like myself, you're going to appreciate this next one. Gen X watching Blazing Saddles. And this is what happens when Gen Z, just saying. Seabass, I absolutely agree with this. There is no defense against a good meme. They are the modern day political cartoon. What the political cartoon was to the inside of the op-ed page in a newspaper, a meme is to the internet newspaper, the newspaper of the 21st century, the internet. Just saying. Oh, I saw that one. I just died laughing. So there you go. Let's see. What else have we got in the way of memes? Oh, this is great. It's a little bit of a meme with a lot of action to it. So as you all know, the commander-in-chief, our president, Joseph R. Biden, who works very, very hard and has been working very, very hard for the past 3 3/4 years, is taking some extended time off as the political campaign season ratchets up, and he's not a part of it anymore. So, as these things are wont to happen, it doesn't matter what famous person you're talking about. Paparazzi are going to follow you everywhere. So, unfortunately for President Biden, he was recently photographed, but I don't think that he's necessarily appreciative of everything that, this is a great line from Blazing Saddles. Where the white women at? I don't think President Biden was necessarily appreciative of this picture that was captured of him. I'm just saying. Oh my goodness! Look at that. Wait a minute. What are these people? What? What is this? Hang on. What? All right. Wait a minute. We gotta check this out. This has to be wrong. This has to be wrong. This cannot possibly be true. Where is he at? Is he at the beach? I didn't know they put steel barriers up for around the beach. What the heck is this? Good grief. No, he must have got distracted by the woman walking in front of him. What the? Huh? What is this nonsense? What? Oh my word. That's just, man, the poor guy can't catch a break, and he just, can't even relax on vacation. Well, hello, my dear. We're glad you're here, but you honey, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. Is it? And we love you. Don't worry. Is it a Black Friday sale at the border? Well, you start to wonder. I'm just saying. Oh, goodness. What else do we have in the way of memes? Excuse me while I get comfortable. Here's another one. Here's another one. For those of you out there, Star Wars fans, okay, I think that you will genuinely appreciate this, especially given how bad things have been going at Disney Star Wars in terms of quality of content. This one I think you're going to definitely appreciate because it combines all the best things about the modern day. Obi-Wan Kenobi's words were never more true, my friends. Never more true. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. And there's Washington, D.C. Well, I'm just saying. There you go. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'll tell you what. The meme makers are absolutely having a field day this season. Absolute field day. Mm-hmm. Seabass says, check into the Hotel California for your $1,400 living expenses. Oh, you did? Okay, well we'll take a look at that. We will take a look at that. Actually, I've got something about that, but yeah, remind me of that when we get to it. Remind me of that, dear. All right, what else do we have from our friends, the meme makers? Oh, this is a great one. As y'all might expect, there are continued reverberations coming off of this alliance between Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And with that, check this out. I tell you what, I don't know how these guys do it, but I tell you what, this is pretty daggone good. Pretty daggone good. I like it. I like it. TBA over on Rumble says, Hotel California, you can enter anytime you like, but you can never leave. Oh, my friend, how true that is. How true that is. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So there you go. What else have we got from our friends, the meme makers? Let's see. Oh, now this one got sent to me by Gypsy, and if you have, it's a little bit. I don't want to put this, and I'm not busted on Gypsy here. I'm just saying she's the one that sent it to me. Now the imagery is stark and it's quite graphic, but this is a portrait that was done by artist Scott Lobeda. He does a lot of political artwork, and I'm just going to put this one up here and let it speak for itself. Yeah, you've got over in the corner there by that wall, you've got Joe with his back turned. He's got a knife in it, and there's an American eagle on the ground, which is injured, bloodied, possibly dead. Kamala wearing a Soviet style jacket with a hammer and sickle, and if you can't read the letters in black, it says "We did it, Joe," and there's a nuclear mushroom cloud in the back. So yeah, just TBA says apropos. Well, I thought about that. Now, if you don't know who Z Highness is referring to, there is a content creator out there by the name of Ryan Kinnell. He runs a channel called RK Outpost. And Ryan's, I've met him once personally, and this was in Orlando about October 2022. Ryan's a genius. I mean, regardless of what you may think of his content or some of the things he says or the outrageous comments, Ryan Kinnell is a genius. But Ryan is notorious for having about like 75 tabs open at the top of his screen. I don't know how the guy does it. I have a hard time keeping track of what I'm doing unless I'm like totally on top of it. Ryan will have 75, 100 tabs open up there and just goes through his stream and he just never misses a beat. He's great. Ryan is absolutely fantastic. So I tell you what, if you're comparing me to Ryan Kinnell in that regard, I take that as a high compliment. I'm not gonna lie. I tried to put together a whole bunch of different things tonight, and I'm not gonna lie. I've got before I even start Xing out some of those memes, I had like a string of tabs up there. I can't even tell you how many. WWG1 says Alex Jones does it on. Yeah, I mean, every content creator does it a little bit differently. Alex does it on paper. I mean, the way he does it, if you've never watched his show, he has the main camera, much like what I've got here, but he also has a camera directly above him that will look down on all the spread of papers that he's got in front of him. And Alex will have like 20, 30 different stories, printed out in front of him, laid out in piles, ready to go when he's ready to talk about it. And it's just to watch Alex. I mean, people can say whatever they want to about Alex, but watching Alex Jones work is just extraordinary because this guy, regardless of what you may think of him and his ideas and his politics, Alex is a very gifted communicator. And over the 30 years that he's been doing what he's doing, he's got a really cool, neat system. So, yeah. TBA says, Alex Jones reminds me of Rush Limbaugh with his stack of stuff. That's very true. Yeah. Rush had the same thing. I will never forget. I cannot tell you how many times that I can remember Rush making the comment. His day would basically start like this. He'd be up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. He's sitting down at his computer, printing off stuff and reading it. And he's analyzing it, putting it together, and he does some things in the morning. And then by the time he gets to, let's say 11:30, he knows exactly how he wants to run the show. And then by 12:05, he's on the air. But he put in like 5, 6, 7 hours of show prep. Easy. And it's just, and he put on that, and he did that for like 30 years. It was just extraordinary. Now, granted, he had a lot of staff, but even still, all that work was him, which was just amazing. Anyway, what else? Oh, now this next one is going to kind of lead to our first story of the evening. And again, it's a little bit Star Wars related. One guy from Paul Bet-David. Yeah. Paul Bet-David's another really great content creator. Absolutely great content creator. Totally. Yeah, God bless all the trees that get cut down for these guys. Now, this next meme kind of leads to our first story. Again, it's a little bit Star Wars related. Goes back to a great line from the original film in 1977. I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if Brazilians of voices were suddenly silenced. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is more true than y'all even begin to know. Have you guys heard about what's going on in Brazil? This is insane. Look, elections have consequences, as Barack Obama once said to Mitch McConnell years ago. And if you wonder why it is certain people should and should not be elected, well, folks, take a look at what's going on south of the border, or more to the point, south of the equator. I got a story here from Revolver, Darren Beatty's great website. Brazil tyrant judge Alexandre drops hammer, bans Elon Musk's X, aka Twitter, in the entire country within 24 hours, full-on critarchy. Story this is by Darren. And so it begins with a tweet from Glenn Greenwald. Brazilian authoritarian censorship judge Alexandre de Moraes orders Twitter banned in all of Brazil within 24 hours. Also orders Google and Apple to remove Twitter from its stores within 5 days. Alexandre de Moraes, authoritarian censorship. Yeah. Any citizens caught accessing Twitter with a VPN will be fined $10,000 per day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about that for a minute. If you are in Brazil and you got, let's just say, Twitter on your phone, you access it, some Brazilian cop comes along, catches you doing it, they can arrest you and they can fine you $10,000 a day for every day you have it on there. Yeah. If what is going on in Great Britain is not scaring you enough, this ought to scare you even more. Folks, We here in America take free speech we take it so for granted. And in Brazil, it was just taken away like that. Yeah, exactly. No more mean tweets from Dan Vask. Terrible. Would like to know what you think. What you two? Oh, okay. You're talking to WWG1. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I saw that post, Gypsy. I thought that was to me, but never mind. Yeah. Here's a look at this joker. Here's the judge. Banned. Yeah, he looks like Voldemort. Banned Twitter in the entire country of Brazil. And from what I understand, the Brazilian Supreme Court has backed this guy up. No more Twitter. Nothing. They just took it away by judicial fiat. Yeah, he does look more like Lex Luthor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dracula. Dracula looked better actually. Yeah. This is frightening, folks. This is just genuinely frightening. Let me see what else we've got here from Darren Beatty's. Yeah, Mike Benz, who used to work in the State Department or Department of Defense for Trump, has a comment here, and I'll go ahead and play it.
Hey, I'm just doing this video totally off the cuff. Have to say something. The Brazilian government just banned X, which means that the handle for the U.S. Embassy in Brazil at USAMBR is now banned in Brazil. Brazilians can't even see the X account of the embassy, and the embassy has not issued a statement condemning what's happened, has not threatened sanctions, has not threatened the retrenchment of U.S. business interests, has not threatened getting rid of the $200 million in foreign government assistance to Brazil. Nothing. Just today, earlier, the U.S. Embassy finally, after, I don't know, almost a year of total silence, on just hours before the Brazil banned it, finally made a public statement about everything that's happened and said, we are monitoring the situation. They are monitoring it. They've been monitoring it. They have been behind it. They have been funding it. They have been coordinating it. Earlier today, I saw a picture of a Brazilian member of Congress in the United States saying he was a censored man in Congress. But do you know that the U.S. government actually funded the Brazilian NGOs, the Brazilian think tanks, who are part of the legislative development of these censorship edicts, and who pressured Brazil's government not to create a carve-out for congressional parliamentarians because it would give a free pass for Brazilian members of Congress to spread misinformation online? So the U.S. government funded the pressure for the ability to arrest that politician. This is not a case of Brazilian government gone rogue. The U.S. government sponsored it through the State Department, through USAID, through the National Endowment for Democracy, and about 100 different NGOs, university centers, legal scholars, and activists within Brazil, starting in about October 2018. And first they came for the social media companies, then they came for WhatsApp and Telegram, and now finally they're coming for X. Now, they are between a rock and a hard place, which is why I believe the U.S. Embassy finally issued this pittance of a public statement hours ago before the ban that they're monitoring the situation. And this is because now there's a fire lit under their ass. And I'm sorry, but part of that may have been because I generated over 100 million impressions in the past 48 hours, specifically naming the U.S. Embassy. And I just went on Tucker Carlson specifically naming the U.S. Embassy. Now, to be clear, I'm not sure if it's the U.S. Embassy or it's the Western Hemisphere. What I know is it's the State Department and State Department dollars. And I have 1,000 of these people in Brazil with confessions that they were coordinating with the State Department while receiving State Department money to do it. Okay. So I don't know the specific wing of the U.S. Embassy because I don't have a security clearance. I'm not a member of Congress who can go in and get it. So I don't know if it's the Western Hemisphere aspect of the State Department or if it's directly at the embassy level. But the embassy is between a rock and a hard place right now because they want X to censor all Bolsonaro supporters, all pro-Bolsonaro sentiment, but they don't want to look like they're behind it. They are. And again, bring me in. I will show you the whole roadmap. and they don't want it to be, and they don't want themselves to have to be in the diplomatic crosshairs of it, of blessing the banning of an entire platform in a huge country on censorship grounds, because the other half of what the State Department does is pressure foreign governments for free speech.
The future of America under Kamala Harris, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and drop this story from Revolver into chat on both sides. Share it with your friends. Because like I say, here comes the future of America. You just got a taste of it down in Brazil. And here's the thing. This is not a Democrat and Republican thing. If there are certain Republicans, I have absolutely no doubt that if they could shut down platforms like Twitter, they'd do it, because they don't want people having access to information. You cannot. There's too many freedoms on the line, ladies and gentlemen. This election's way too important. Way, way too important. Okay, let us shift gears a little bit, move on to our next item on the menu for the Saturday Night Supper Club. This one is kind of introduced by way of another meme. Just out of curiosity, give me an F in chat if you remember the legendary cartoon growing up, Johnny Quest. Give me an F in chat. Hello, Midmo. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the Supper Club. Glad to have you. If you remember the legendary cartoon growing up, Johnny Quest, give me an F in chat. Okay, we got some Fs in chat. All right, we got Midmo. All right, we got an F in chat. All right, well, it turns out that Johnny Quest was actually real life. And if you don't believe me, check this out. A young Johnny Quest and his good buddy Raji. Well, look what they grew up to look like. I'm just saying. Life apparently was hard for both of them after the cartoon ended. Just saying. Yep. Yeah, apparently times were bad after Hanna-Barbera cut these two loose. Yeah, y'all. Well, I do that in part to kind of set up. There's one more meme, by the way. One more. This one I think you guys get a kick out of. How dare I defame Johnny? I'm sorry. I loved Johnny Quest as a kid too. Just saying, you know. But yeah, this is a humorous take on the other night's interview on CNN, which kind of gets me to our next item on the menu tonight, and the continuing reaction to the CNN interview with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz that was done by CNN anchor Dana Bash. Well, the legendary Jimmy Dore has weighed in on this thing. And Jimmy and his guest that for his show, Kurt Metzger, both of them comedians, had quite a bit to say about this. I'm going to play a snippet of it. This is Jimmy Dore at some of his best. Anyway, folks, do me a favor. I think you're going to get a kick out of this.
So here she says, what's she going to do on day one? Here's what she says.
The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what...
I'm sorry, but I have to stop it. Every time she talks, almost every time she talks, she sounds either like she's had a couple of too many wines, or she just woke up and is hungover. Yeah,
first and foremost,
is that me? Or she took too many. She took too many painkillers. Maybe a little bit too much cough syrup. You get what I'm saying, right?
She's on the lean.
Maybe
to help her go from Indian to black. Is she drinks lean now?
So I don't know what that is. What's lean?
That's syrup.
Okay, here we go.
Purple syrup.
Rewind a little bit. Do you see what her tell is, Jimmy? She has to touch her face before she can answer this question.
Oh, really?
Yeah, watch.
Oh, here we go.
One in the White House.
Day one.
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at
My notes.
the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the
When I look at my notes.
She's looking at her notes right now. What's the first thing you're going to do when I get into office? And then she kind of tap dances around it.
You know,
Well, first I'm going
like,
to
no,
do the thing the
That's
American
really the
public.
point.
Like,
Right where you said my notes, she goes, I look at the aspirations and dreams.
Yes.
like,
That's the part written down for her.
like she's got to do a face scratch, one of these weird ticks before you don't have that question like in the holster. You don't have that answer ready. Here's what I'm going to do day one. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. Boom, vote for me. She's like, here we go.
Well, call
Here.
I love this. Now I play this in part. Folks, CNN, according to reports, taped about 41 minutes interview. Whittled it down to about 18 minutes. Which sort of begs the question, why did they have to edit this down to 18 minutes? I mean, this was her first major interview that she gives, okay, as the nominee of the Democrat Party for president. 18 minutes out of 41. Look, I can understand a certain amount of editing. I get that. But basically, you chopped off half of the interview. Why? Was it, you felt like you had to try to squeeze it into an hour? Or it was just so bad that it was such bad word salad that CNN's like, oh, hell no, we can't put this out there. This is terrible. We don't know. Okay. 41 minutes down to 18. And then the 18 minutes that you get to see is her kind of like word salading her way through what she's doing. Oh my God. Well, apparently Jimmy Dore and Kurt Metzger and Jimmy's sidekick, Elizabeth, weren't the only ones. MSNBC had a group of undecided voters. And folks, it's one thing for the old front porch conservative here to tell you how bad this interview went. It's another thing when undecided voters start watching her, not just in the interview, but in, campaign appearances, ads, etc. And they're starting to come to some very interesting conclusions. Like, here's the first one. Check this out.
Do you feel some kinship towards her as a mixed person?
Not personally. I find a lot of her trajectory to not be my brand of woman leader. We've got 3 major international crises going on and someone applying to be commander-in-chief. As a woman, I want to see you do more than, appeal to giggling and having a girl moment on the stage.
Oh. Now, keep in mind, these are undecided voters or, independents, whatever you want to call them. And I don't know where they're at. I don't know if they're in Pennsylvania or Wisconsin or Michigan or wherever they may be. But this is not a good sign for Kamala. You've got 3 gentlemen, 3 ladies, Hispanic, African American, maybe mixed, who knows. And this is what they're saying about her. No, then this isn't the only clip, by the way. There's not the only one. I got another one here for you from that same interview.
I just don't think that Kamala Harris has anything vested in the Airfinger, quote, Black or Hispanic experience in so much as it would be identified by anybody that lives in those communities.
You're saying you don't think that she can help Black or brown people?
No, I mean, going to Howard don't make you Black.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, dear, you're right. This is brutal. This is absolutely brutal, and she's earning every bit of it. However, not everything out there that is necessarily all that bad. I mean, you've heard about, there are all kinds of groups that are popping up for her, in all seriousness. I mean, you've got this group is popping up for Kamala, that group's popping up for Kamala. Well, you may have recently heard about white dudes for Kamala. Apparently, Mark Cuban's going to participate in this thing. Legendary billionaire, owner of the former owner of the Dallas Mavericks, etc. Well, I guess we have a preview of people going to the white dudes for Kamala meeting. And with that in mind, folks, check this out.
Hey, sweetie. Why don't you bring that juicy ass over here and hop in daddy's new whip?
Whoa. Okay. I disavow. Just saying, totally untoward language. But anyway, let us continue.
Excuse me?
Who's talking to me? Well, you just gonna stare at these daddies, or you want to rip off that top and hop on in here?
That is not okay. You don't talk to people like
I've never been more ready.
Well, there you go, folks. There's white dudes for Kamala. Yeah. Just, oh goodness. Yeah. White dudes for Kamala. There you go. That's what we have. That's what we're looking forward to here. But back to those undecided voters. I tell you what, and again, it's anecdotal. Am I still disavowing? Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm still disavowing on that one or not. But on those undecided voters, these are people that are watching her so far, and they're like, I'm not there. And I love that one lady's comment. We got 3 foreign crises going on right now, and I don't need her getting on stage and having a girl moment. If that is widespread indication of what is going on out there, she got big problems, which, by the way, do you remember that line from the interview the other night on CNN where she said, I am totally committed to the defense of Israel? Remember that? Remember, we've been talking for months about the problem that Joe Biden had in the Democrat Party, in that there was a very large group of voters in the Democrat base that would show up in certain primaries and they'd vote uncommitted. In other words, they wouldn't vote for Joe Biden, or they just wouldn't vote at all. But the uncommitted vote, I mean, I'll never forget the night we streamed the Michigan primary. There was I think 100 or 120,000 voters in the Democrat primary that voted. No, I'm sorry. It was 200,000 voted uncommitted. And I'm sitting there going, holy crap. Well, Wendell Hughesbow, let me make sure this is Wendell's. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's Nick Gilbertson. Nick Gilbertson over at Breitbart. He's got an article out today, and he brings up a very valid point, and I want to read this to you guys. Uncommitted nightmare haunts Harris as CNN interview further fractures the Democrat base. Oh, that's an interesting headline. What's old Nicky boy got to say? Democrat presidential nominee Kamala Harris is facing a severe crisis with the pro-Palestinian wing of her party after she doubled down on her and President Joe Biden's Israel policies in her CNN interview on Thursday. CNN's Dana Bash pressed Harris on arms policy towards Israel on Thursday night. After Harris initially skirted a direct question about potentially withholding some of the arms to Israel, as the pro-Palestinian uncommitted movement has been demanding for 7 months, Bash did not let her off the hook. Following up on the same question, she drew a no from Harris when she was asked if there would be any changes in policy in terms of arms and so forth toward Israel, igniting a frenzy of condemnation from prominent pro-Palestinian figures, including Representative Rashida Tlaib, Democrat of Michigan. The response and the fallout underscore and worsen a massive problem for Harris, who has a fractured base heading into the home stretch of the election. These voters More than 500,000 who protested the Biden-Harris administration with uncommitted votes in the Democrat primary have threatened and continue to threaten to stay home in November. Barring a radical change in policy or a ceasefire, the movement includes Arab Americans, Muslims, young voters, and far-left progressives. Making the problem so severe for Harris is that the movement began in the ever-critical swing state of Michigan and spread to other key states like Wisconsin, places where the presidency is expected to be decided by a slim margin. Harris is on shaky ground, considering that she has not brought home her base at a point in the cycle where presidential candidates typically are focused on courting moderates. Another aspect to contemplate is that if Harris does change course on this position, she runs the risk of looking that much more insincere to undecided voters on critical issues. She has waffled on a number of critical policy positions, including fracking, and polling shows the public views former President Donald Trump as the more genuine candidate by a wide margin. Regardless, the issue has festered so long that winning these voters back with words alone appears impossible. At this point, she needs a concrete stoppage in arms and a ceasefire, which are not on the horizon. And I tell you what, folks, and I think Nick Gilbertson's absolutely onto something here. She's got enormous problems. I don't care what they tried to manufacture in Chicago last week, okay? Or I should say 2 weeks ago. Well, it'll be 10 days ago. I don't care what they tried to manufacture. They can't do it. They cannot pull this off. Okay? She has a divided party on her hands, and more every time she turns around, she's having to take baling wire and duct tape to hold this thing together. It's not going to work. TBA over on Rumble says Harris will be lucky to still be on the Democrat ticket after the debate with Trump, in my opinion. Okay. Possible. I don't think it's highly probable because, frankly, if you switch her out now, you got nothing left. I mean, we are a little over 60 days away from the general election on November 5th. They switch her out now, they may as well just hand the White House to Trump. Even if they put another candidate in, it wouldn't do him any good. You'd still have to have the time and the infrastructure to build a campaign. She's barely able to do it right now. And by the way, that's one of Kamala's problems. She's got Biden's people in the campaign. She's got her people in the campaign. She's got Obama people in the campaign. And believe me, this is one of those situations where too many cooks spoil the stew. There are reports of infighting everywhere you turn. Politico's got stories about it. TheHill.com has stories about it. That campaign is a mess. Then on top of that, you throw in a candidate that's an insecure individual to begin with and does not perform well under pressure. And I'm telling you what, I'm not saying you're necessarily going to see it in public, but believe me, this next 60 days is going to work on this woman. Physically, emotionally, like I said, you may never see it in public, but I am telling you right now, she is not going to hold up well under this. If past is any indication of future, she is absolutely behind the scenes is going to be a wreck. An absolute wreck. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're stuck with her. They're absolutely stuck with her. Yeah, well, yeah, they're out. Yeah, to use an analogy, there's no more Uno cards left. You're right. They're out. And by the way, you want to know what kind of problems Kamala's got? This was out in California. Check this out. I'm going to stop that right there. And if you can't read that, it's the sign that's hanging down from the overpass says Kamala Harris is an idiot. That's in California. Okay. They might force her into the race, but I just don't see, even if they forced Michelle into the race at this point, I don't think it helps them. I just don't think it can. And and on top of that, Michelle does not want to be president. I mean, if they all right, I will give you this. Okay? Though I'll give you those that rule. Okay? Even if they wanted to force Michelle into the race, they can't do it. If they could, they would have done it 2 months ago. Michelle doesn't. Okay, so whose choice is it? And I'm not trying to be mean when I ask this question. So Michelle Obama has no power inside the Democrat Party to veto something if someone tries to get her to do it. I mean, if we've reached that point, I may as well just quit streaming and give up. Because there's no point fighting anymore. There's no point talking anymore. Because if it's reached the point that we can be so totally controlled that we have no choice in the matter, doesn't matter who it is. All right, fair point. But if she's a made woman, they haven't made her do it yet. I'm just saying. I mean, Gypsy, I absolutely love you, but I respectfully disagree on this. If they were going to do it, they'd have done it 2 months ago. They'd have done this back in July. To me, they are stuck with Kamala Harris no matter what happens, and it's starting to slowly happen, which I'll get to that momentarily. Anyway, that's out in California, okay? And wait a minute, how did I do that? Oh, there we go. I don't know how I muted myself like that. Apologies. Karma is a grade A biatch. You want to see something really funny as sort of a palate cleanser? Now, let me set this up. So a guy somewhere is holding a Trump flag, okay? And apparently he held it up in front of the wrong person. However, this is one of those moments when you should remember, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all, or maybe more to the point, if you can't do something nice, don't do anything at all, because Karma, she's kind of a nasty lady. Watch now. I'm going to tell you what he does. The guy in the car spits on the Trump flag. Okay? Now watch what happens next.
Motherfucker, you lost. Nice thing you did. You lost. Stupid asshole.
All that hate. It's unfortunate that it happened, but
now he's
that is. Oh, and now you got the cops. Oh, yeah, he spit on the guy.
I know, he stepped on it. You know, I was the one paying attention. You know what I mean?
You got all that.
I did.
You did?
I did.
Can you send it to him and then he crashed?
You know, like Mama tried to tell all of us, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. And if you can't do anything nice, don't do anything at all. Oh, TBA says, this video is old, at least a couple of years. Oh, I'm sorry. I was not aware of that. I apologize. I thought this was recent. But still, it's absolutely hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. My apologies, TBA, and I apologize to you guys. I did not realize that was that old. Sorry, but I thought it was too funny. I had to share it with you guys. Speaking of Kamala and her insecurities, have you guys heard that she's still trying to get ABC to change the rules on the upcoming debate? Now, for those of you who may not be aware of the story, let me back this up and tell you what's going on. I guess somewhere a couple or 3 weeks ago, okay, the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign agreed that they would do a debate on ABC, okay, September the 10th, which was the same date that Biden was going to debate Trump, okay? And according to reports, both sides agreed to the same rules that were used during the CNN debate. Everybody would be standing. Okay. Everybody's standing. You can't bring notes with you, although pretty sure Biden had notes up there. That was caught on video. So you're standing, not supposed to have notes. You have a pad of paper, you have a pen, you have a glass of water. The microphones will be muted. So when you're done speaking, your microphone's muted. The other person, no audience, no nothing. Okay. So everybody agreed to this. And when I say everybody, I mean the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign. Well, all of a sudden, about a week ago, Kamala starts raising all kinds of cane. She wants the rules changed. And one of them is she wants the mics unmuted. And Gypsy, I think you are absolutely right about this. I think you're absolutely right. She wants the I'm talking moment. Now, if you don't know what Gypsy's referring to, back during the 2020 debate, when she was going head to head with then Vice President Pence, they had an exchange. They're both sitting across the table from each other, as usually the vice presidential debate goes. And she was talking. Pence tried to make a point. She said, excuse me, I'm talking here. I'm talking in kind of girl boss fashion. Excuse me, I am talking. Well, yeah, I agree with Gypsy and a lot of other people, by the way. She wants the same thing with Trump. She doesn't think that Donald Trump can be disciplined enough for 90 minutes to not do what he didn't do against Biden. Okay. So last week, ABC issues a statement and tells both campaigns, and particularly the Harris campaign, your request to change the rules is not accepted. We are going with the same set of rules that CNN used for their debate. The debate is on September the 10th. It'll be in Philadelphia at the Constitutional Convention at the Constitutional Center. 9:00 Eastern. Show up. Okay. So that should have been the end of it. Instead, Kamala is out this morning with the following from her Twitter page. Quote, Donald Trump is surrendering to his advisors who won't allow him to debate with a live microphone. If his own team doesn't have confidence in him, the American people definitely can't. We are running for president of the United States. Let's debate in a transparent way with the microphones on the whole time. Excuse me, Kamala, I have a question. What does having the microphones on have to do with the ability to have a transparent debate? What, you can't make your point unless you can hear Donald Trump breathing through his nose on the other side of the room or something? What? I mean, what? That makes not an ounce of sense whatsoever. Frankly, and I'll be perfectly honest about it, lay aside what advantages Biden may have been trying to get or not get or anything else during that last debate. I thought the way that CNN handled that debate was great. I thought the fact that the microphones were muted worked out perfectly for both of them. It's just that for Biden, he couldn't do anything with it because, frankly, his performance was so piss poor, it wouldn't have mattered if the microphone's been on or not. Trump still would have kicked his rear end. So this whole thing about we're running for president of the United States, let's debate in a transparent way with the microphones on the whole time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say something, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for doing this, but this looks small and pissy. Okay? If anything, this argument that she's trying to make against Trump is actually working against her. She's the one who's running for president. She's looking small. She's looking pissy. She's looking diminished. And the fact that you've been told, look, we're not going to change the debate rules. You guys agreed to this. You've been told, and you were told publicly, okay? ABC sent you a memo, and it was reported publicly everywhere last week, and now you're still trying to change the debate rules. Now, and this is where I want your guys' opinion on this, because I mostly know what I think about this, but there's one small part in my mind that's just starting to nag at me. By that, I mean this, and please give me your comments on this. I'd really love to hear what you guys think. The overwhelming majority of my mind tells me, okay, this is a woman that's trying to fight for every advantage she can get because she's scared. She does not really want to debate Donald Trump. She doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with this guy. Okay? That's what most of me is saying. There's one part of my brain, however, that has this nagging thought. What if she is rope-a-doing Trump? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Really? Have they got this from somebody, or is this their opinion, or they've got this from somebody, or they've got this from somebody in her campaign? Because I will go look this up. If they've got this from somebody's campaign, I'm dying to see this, and I will drop everything right now and go find it. Yeah, here's what I mean by rope-a-dope. I'm wondering if she's doing this whole, I want the microphones on, I want this, to try to lull Trump into a false sense of confidence, and then she comes in and just bam, bam, verbally just smacks him. Well, thank you. I want to see this. If they've got this from somebody in her campaign, I am dying to see this. Well, TBA says, ha ha ha, ha LOL, LOL. Harris rope-a-doping Trump. That's too. No, I know. And I'm probably worrying for nothing, but there's just one little part of my brain that's just nagging at me like, this feels like a trap somehow. She's trying to lay a trap for the guy. Get him overconfident, get him off his game. He won't prepare because he thinks, oh, hey, she's too scared. I can just waltz in there and just absolutely do whatever I want. And then she just comes in and starts, because okay, now another thought occurs to me. And I'd like you guys' thoughts on this. What if she's trying to lower the expectations for the debate? By that, I mean this. What if she's trying to walk into the debate with such low expectations that she does even just a mediocre job? And everybody says, oh my God, did you see her in that debate? She was amazing. Oh my gosh, she went toe-to-toe with Donald Trump and held her own for 90 minutes. Where the reality is she hasn't done anything. Now, again, I could be wrong on that score because to me, she's got to hit a home run with this debate. Look, regardless of what people think of Trump, like him, don't like him, whatever, okay? The perception is set in that he is competent, he's good on the economy, he's good on the border, he's good on inflation, way better than Kamala. She's got to hit a home run and prove she's just as competent as he is. Block Ad Runner 56, and hello, Blocked Ad Runner. Glad to have you here for the supper club tonight. Remember, Trump didn't just author the art of the deal; he lived it. Ooh, okay, very interesting. Okay, thank you, appreciate that. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I've kind of got mixed thoughts on this whole thing. Personally, I think the overwhelming majority of my brain, my first instinct is right. She is scared to death, and she's trying to get whatever advantage she thinks she can. I mean, look, she did a taped interview on CNN, right? And even then, she didn't come off very well. I mean, when undecided voters who are Black, Hispanic, and or mixed ethnicity are watching her, and they're saying to themselves, "Yeah, I'm not that impressed," with varying comments that they make. Okay, she's got problems. Yeah, well, I mean, to me, and that's just it. Yeah, I think she's got problems going into this thing. A lot of them, a ton of them. As a matter of fact, to that end, hang on a minute. Oh, our spies are everywhere. We do have some footage of some of her debate prep, and it looks like it's pretty intense. The preparations that she's making for this debate. I mean, she's really trying to get ready for it. And folks, I don't know. This might be just what she needs going into this debate. Now, I'm just saying. Unburdened by what has been. Well, block ad runner 56 says, I don't think she has the intellect to retain enough knowledge to outdo Trump in a debate. Could be. Let's see. Alma, hello Alma. That interview was a mess. Couldn't watch the camera while she was spinning her lies. And that's another thing. And again, I am no body language expert, okay? I'm really not. But she kept looking down. She'd look up, she'd go, up and to the right, like she was trying to recall an answer. Again, I'm no body language expert, but she just looked physically awful in that debate. And I'm not trying to be unkind to her when I say that, but when you're trying to project power, when you are trying to project strength, you don't sit there hunched over, looking small, and looking down at your hands. And you look right at somebody, and you do. And on day one, I'm going to do this. I mean, I think Jimmy Dore is absolutely right. When you're trying to convince people, answer the question, what do you want to do on the first day? You say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Boom. And then we're moving on. And you look them straight in the eye while you're doing it. She's looking here. She's looking down at her hands. She's looking off to the side. It's just the optics of it are just bad. Just genuinely bad. Yeah. Like a child at dinner. That's Lionel as an absolutely great description. I hadn't heard that one, but that is very true. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Oh, goodness, man, I got a bunch of people sending stuff to me. Holy cow. Oh, here it is. Gypsy, I just found it. Hang on. I got to put this up here. From PJ Media. Oh, it's from Matt. Okay, hang on. Let me pop this up here. It's talking about Kamala and the debate. Oh, God, I love the AI art. Just amazing AI art. Hang on. Yep, I just got it. Hang on, let me pop this thing up here because from PJ Media, headline: it looks like Kamala is about to chicken out in debating Trump. From Matt Margolis of PJ Media, this is about what? A little over 4 hours ago, almost 5. It's I'm definitely seeing signs that the upcoming debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia on Tuesday, September 10th at 9 p.m. won't happen. Why? Washington Post reporter Josh Dawsey reported on Friday that the Harris campaign has not yet accepted the rules for the debate. And this is his tweet, Josh Dawsey. Let me enlarge this a little bit. Sorry, folks, I forgot to do that. Pop this up here a little bit. There we go. Trump campaign has accepted these rules per Tuesday's email to ABC, reviewed by the Post. Kamala Harris campaign has not yet accepted these rules as they seek to unmute the microphones for the entire debate. The debate is less than 2 weeks. According to the rules, the debate will feature no audience, with VIP hold rooms for immediate family and staff areas on site and in the media spin room. The debate will be 90 minutes long with 2 commercial breaks and will allow a format without opening statements, but with 2-minute closing arguments. David Muir and Lindsay Davis of ABC News will moderate. Both podium placement and the order of closing statements will be determined by a virtual coin flip on September 3rd, where the winner can choose which aspect to decide. The candidates will not be allowed props or pre-written notes, but will have a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water. The debate will have strict rules on timing and microphone use, with lights indicating remaining time and microphones live only while for the speaking candidate. No questions or topics will be shared in advance. No Donna Brazile moments. And candidates cannot ask each other questions or have staff interactions during breaks. Moderators will enforce timing and ensure a civilized discussion. The rules are pretty simple and straightforward, and there's hardly anything worth making a big fuss about. Yet Saturday morning, Kamala Harris was crying foul, accusing Trump of playing games. We just read that tweet. But let's not forget that it was the Biden-Harris campaign that wanted no live microphones for the first debate between Trump and Biden. And when Kamala Harris became the Democrat Party's presumptive nominee, when Trump wanted to renegotiate the dates, the host, and the rules for the debate, Kamala insisted that Donald Trump had already agreed to the date, the host, and the rules, and claimed he was trying to get out of debating her. Harris essentially got exactly what she wanted, the same debate and the same rules that Trump had agreed to with Joe Biden, and now she's laying the groundwork to back out of the debate. Quote, the Harris camp, having already agreed to CNN's rules, asked for a seated debate with notes and opening statements. We said no changes to the agreed upon rules, Trump spokesperson Jason Miller said in a statement earlier this week. If Kamala Harris isn't smart enough to repeat the messaging points her handlers want her to memorize, that's their problem. That seems to be a pattern with the Harris campaign. They won't allow Harris to do interviews. They won't allow her to do press conferences. And now they want to give her a cheat sheet for the debate. My guess is they're looking for a way to get out of any debate with President Trump. Regardless, there's no way Harris is ready to be commander-in-chief. It's quite obvious that Kamala's campaign is freaking out about the debate and is looking for a way out of participating. Editors note, the radical left coup is complete. They ignored the will of the people, and Kamala Harris is now the de facto Democrat nominee for president. Okay, that's from PJ Media. Gypsy, thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, Kamala Harris, when Trump said, hey, look, you're the new candidate. Let's sit down. Let's negotiate the rules. Let's negotiate the dates. Let's negotiate the place, the time, all that. She said, nope. You agreed to debate Joe Biden on September the 10th under CNN's rules. Well, by George, that's what you're going to do. Trump's like, okay, fine. You want to debate on September 10th? Let's do it September the 10th. And by the way, here's a couple more dates. Let's do one on Fox on September 4th. Let's do one on NBC. No. I'm not going on Fox. You can't make me. You can't make me go on Fox. No. Okay, fine. Let's debate on September the 10th. CNN's rules. Okay, fine. Then a few days later, well, I need these changes to be made. Well, no, you've already agreed to it. Then ABC has to come out and tell her, no, Kamala, you're not getting the rules changed. This is it. Okay? These are the rules. What do you want to do? Now, I had thought that this was over and we're just going to have the debate. Now, if it's true that she still has not accepted the rules for this debate, the folks at PJ Media might be right. She might be trying to get ready to weasel out of this thing, which to me is the worst thing she could do. I mean, like I said, right now it looks bad enough already. Okay. She looks small. She looks petty. She doesn't look like someone that's ready to do the hard work. She looks like she wants to be advantaged and privileged and everything else. This is not helping her. Now, granted, it's a small thing in the grand scheme of it all. And granted, people like me who are just, mad people when it comes to politics, we watch this stuff like a hawk. Now, the average person may not be paying attention, but the longer this goes on and the more she keeps, pardon my language, bitching about it, or maybe to use a classier expression, whinging, the more she keeps whinging about this, the more the average person is going to look at this and go, you want to be commander-in-chief or not? Doesn't matter what the rules are, get in there and debate. She's gonna, to go back to Lionel's description, she's like a child at dinner. I absolutely agree with this. Absolutely do I agree with it. TBA says Harris is talking like a small child. Yep, I absolutely agree. TBA also says if Gypsy's right, then Kalamalama will be replaced fairly soon. Could be. Let's see what else kind of comments. And it's infuriating that they spin to make the bad guy every time. I don't know if it's going to work on this one. At least on this point anyway. Trump's like, good, let's debate. Let's do it. Come on, let's go. She knows if she goes to the debate stage, she's screwed. She wanted the unmuted microphones to allow Trump zero excuses, and so they can say, excuse me, I'm talking. Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah, she wants the I'm talking moment. The problem is, honestly, I don't think it would matter if the microphones are muted or unmuted. I think Donald Trump, in this case, would have the discipline to keep his mouth shut. Now, I know that's something of an assumption. And let's be honest, we're talking about Donald Trump, but I really do believe that if push came to shove, Trump would hold his tongue in check. Okay? And this is true, too. This is absolutely true. She is between a rock and a hard place. If she doesn't show up, she looks weak. If she shows up, she runs the risk of being bulldozed. Okay? Thank you, ma'am. I do appreciate that. Yeah, he would just handle it the same way he handled the Biden's debate. It really wouldn't make a difference. But then again, when your opponent is, tripping over their own feet, don't do anything to keep them from falling. Let them do it. Let them do it. TBA over on Rumble says, Brian, it seems to me what we're being exposed here is that the Democrat Party is really just a communist party, and the American people need to see this. Yeah, and I think more and more people, and I hope I'm not being Pollyanna about this, but I really do believe in my heart of hearts, more and more people are waking up. Truly, there is an awakening, an absolute awakening. Blocked Ad Runner says Trump's got is more controlled now. Give them more rope. Exactly. This is going to be absolutely fascinating when this goes down. Absolutely fascinating. Okay, I tell you what. Before we switch gears, or I should say bring on our next entree at the Saturday Night Supper Club, let me do a really quick commercial. My name is Brian Trippett. I am known in social media as the Front Porch Conservative, and if you've happened upon this live stream, you have found the Saturday Night Supper Club. On occasion, we get together Saturday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. We're on Rumble, we're on Twitter, and we're on YouTube. If this kind of conversation, interactive, get to give our opinions, we agree to disagree when we do disagree. If this is your sort of thing, your cup of tea, as it were, your cocktail of choice, then by all means, go ahead and subscribe to my channel on Rumble and on YouTube. And by the way, folks on YouTube, please double check your subscription, because YouTube's starting to screw around with me and play some games. I just want to make sure if you've subbed in the past, you're still showing up as a subscriber. So please do me a favor, double check for me. I'd appreciate it. Also, hit the thumbs up on YouTube and Rumble. Leave a comment. Believe me, both of those things really help the algorithm, and share the link around. I would like to really grow this channel. And like I say, now we've got Block Ad Runner here with us tonight. And Block Ad Runner, that sub thing, if you ain't done it yet, come on, brother. Would love to have you. All right. Let us go to our next item on the menu for the Saturday Night Supper Club. Before we shift gears, Gypsy just sent me something. Hang on a minute. This kind of goes back to the whole, yeah, here it is. Here it is. Let me get this pulled up real fast before we shift to our next topic. Everybody's been saying that Kamala wants the I'm speaking moment. Okay. Well, if you do not remember what this looked like 4 years ago, somebody took the liberty of putting this together, a compilation of what went on in the debate between Mike Pence and Kamala Harris. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here you go.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I'm
speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait,
I'm speaking.
be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation. Okay?
Please.
Okay.
Non-answer.
I'm trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President. I'm speaking. Yeah, I'm about to. I will not be lectured by the Vice President.
Folks, you can call me crazy, you can call me sexist, you can call me whatever you want, but I'm telling you what, she tries to pull that crap with Donald Trump, and he is absolutely going to verbally hand her head. I'm telling you, she is, it's not going to work. Donald Trump is not Mike Pence, and Mike Pence is not Donald Trump. She's going to try that. If she tries that garbage, she has absolutely had it. TBA says, what a total biatch. You ain't wrong, brother. I mean, and you could, and by the way, you've seen flashes of this already. Okay. You remember that rally she did in Detroit where some heckler was just wouldn't let her talk? And she said, excuse me, if you want to elect Donald Trump, just keep on doing what you're doing. But I'm speaking right now. And then she proceeded to stare the guy down. I mean, the look she was giving him, if daggers could have come out of her eyes, she would have absolutely did that guy in that night. WWG1 says, common technique taught in public speaking debate clubs, it's amateurish. Exactly. Like I say, she might try that once. Trump's not going to let her do it. He is going to have a retort that is going to probably put her in her place, and that'll pull her up short from doing that crap. But yeah, that's what she's trying to do. I'm speaking, excuse me, I am not going to be lectured by you. I am not going to be talked to by you. I am not going to be lectured by the Vice President. Lady, if that's the best you've got against Donald Trump, you are screwed. Okay. Let us move on to our next topic of the evening. This Arlington Cemetery controversy. Okay. So as you all know, a few days ago, there was a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery to honor the 13 fallen Marines on the anniversary of their deaths in Afghanistan during the American withdrawal. President Joe Biden was not there. Vice President Kamala Harris was not there. There was one individual who was, and he wasn't even president when this deal went down, and that was Donald Trump. And there have been videos made, pictures taken, that sort of thing. And a lot of people have been trying to make a big hullabaloo. Hey, Trump injected himself into this. You know, this shouldn't have been allowed. He was taking video that was unauthorized, yada, 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 et cetera, and so on. Okay. Well, as you might expect, Kamala is not going to let this die. And she put out a tweet. Let me find out when she did this. Hang on a minute. We'll read this real fast. Yeah, she put this thing out today, this afternoon, early this afternoon, as a matter of fact. Oh, hang on to that thought, TBA. We're going to get to that here in a minute. Okay? Just hold that thought. Oh, it is. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. But just hold that thought, TBA. I saw what you wrote. Okay? Here's Kamala Harris's tweet. Now I'm going to do a Kamala impersonation here, so forgive me in advance. As Vice President, I had the privilege of visiting Arlington National Cemetery several times. It is a solemn place, a place where we come together to honor American heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service of this nation. It is not a place for politics. And yet, as was reported this week, Donald Trump's team chose to film a video there, resulting in an altercation with cemetery staff. Let me be clear. The former president disrespected sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. This is nothing new for Donald Trump. This is a man who has called our fallen service members suckers and losers and disparaged Medal of Honor recipients. A man who, during a previous visit to the cemetery, reportedly said of the fallen service members, quote, "I don't get it. What was in it for them?" This is a man who is unable to comprehend anything other than service to himself. If there is one thing on which we as Americans can all agree, is that our veterans, military families, and service members should be honored and never disparaged and treated with nothing less than our highest respect and gratitude. It is my belief that someone who cannot meet this simple, sacred duty should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States of America. I will always honor the service and sacrifice of all America's fallen heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of our nation and our cherished freedoms. I mourn them and salute them, and I will never politicize them. I'm sorry, I had to finish the impersonation as she might. That's better. That sounds more like Kamala. TBA says Harris could not possibly have written that tweet. She doesn't have the intellect to put that together. Or maybe it's better to say the sobriety. Oh, hang on, Ruben. I see you out there, my brother. Hang on. We're going to get to that. Yeah, well, as others have pointed out, it goes a little bit further than what Harris is telling you. Folks, this is an interview that Christy Shamblin, who is the mother-in-law of Sergeant Nicole G. Nicole G lost her life, one of the 13 that died in Afghanistan on that day. This is an interview with Christy Shamblin that she did with CNN. And folks, you need to hear this. So with that, here you go.
We invited both President Trump and the Biden-Harris administration.
What? You invited everybody? What's this? Oh my goodness, this is about to get interesting. Let us continue.
And we didn't hear back from the White House. We were happy to welcome President Trump to lay wreaths with all three of our families and some of our wounded from that day. And when he came to Section 60, it was at our request to spend time with our loved ones. There was not a press presence there. We privately took pictures among ourselves. And it was, a more celebratory feeling for that day because, we want to celebrate our loved ones, and it's very hard to find ways to do that at a cemetery. But they were very respectful. We didn't see any altercation, and really, we just want our loved ones to be honored and remembered in a positive way.
Well. hell? Did you guys catch all that? We didn't see an altercation. Okay, all right. I think I've got the very thing you're talking about. So hang on to that thought. I'm going to get right to it. We didn't see an altercation. Look, he was very respectful. Their staff was very respectful. We took pictures. I don't know what. We didn't see an altercation. We invited them. We invited President Biden. We invited Vice President Harris, and they didn't show up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about this for a minute. Okay? Now, my blood's going to start boiling here in a second, so I apologize in advance if I lose my cool, but I'm sorry. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have the blood of these 13 Marines, and God knows however many other people died in the lead up to that day. They were in office for the withdrawal from Afghanistan. They were the ones that put the plans in place to make it happen. May I respectfully remind anybody watching this live stream right now that when Donald Trump left office, he left a set of plans on how to do the withdrawal from Afghanistan. He left a timetable on when it should be done. Okay? Biden came in and changed all that, particularly the timetable. He wanted the withdrawal done by September 11th, so we could have the press pop, not realizing that that would set in motion a whole disastrous chain of events. So the blood of these 13 Marines is on the hands of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And let me remind you of something, lest you think, oh, aren't you being a little bit hard on Kamala? She didn't give the final orders. Yeah, but she told everybody she was the last person in the room telling Joe Biden what he ought to do on the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And she said she was comfortable with everything that was decided. So yes, blood is on Kamala's hands just as much as it's on Joe Biden's. TBA says, as far as I know, no one from the administration showed up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody, as far as I know, no one showed up either. I have not heard of one person from the Biden administration who showed up for this event at Arlington Cemetery, except for a man who was never part of the Biden administration, and that was Donald Trump. Joe was invited, so was Kamala, and they never bothered to set foot at Arlington. Donald Trump was invited, and he came. He was, according to Ms. Shamlin, he was respectful. His staff was respectful. There were photos that were taken. They didn't see any kind of an incident with the Arlington staff. They were just trying to find a way to honor those who they'd lost. Now, the argument that says that somehow Kamala, oh crap, where is it? Did I not pull this up? Hang on, guys. Give me a second here, guys. I have got to find this because it was mentioned and it definitely needs to be talked about. And the thing about Laura, Laura Loomer does about 20 different tweets. It's absolutely ridiculous. 20 different tweets inside of a minute. She's insane with the way she tweets. I love her to death, but good God, trying to find something specific. Yeah, Kamala Harris talking about campaign ads and, the fact that, that's all that Trump was there for, was just to try to make an ad for himself and get pictures and the photo pop and everything else. Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the one I'm looking for in particular. Yeah, you guys need to see this. Oh yeah, and she's even repeating the line about suckers and losers, which never happened, by the way. Blocked ad runner, hey, you can let your comments be as salty as they want. I've only got one rule in this chat, okay? Just so long as you don't insult your fellow folks in chat, I don't care. Okay, you can take whatever shots at me you want to. That's fine. I'm all for it. Okay, I signed up for the slings and arrows of outrageous social media fortune. But so long as you're polite to everybody else, you can have whatever opinions you like. I'm cool with that. So you just be as salty as you feel like, brother. Yeah. Here's a tweet from Laura Loomer, and I think this needs to be read. Talking to Kamala Harris. Hey, you stupid, brain-dead, lying bitch. Again, Laura Loomer is expressing the diplomacy for which she is so well known. Let us continue reading her tweet. Isn't this you and brain-dead Joe Biden making a video of yourselves at Arlington National Cemetery? If you're not allowed to film, why were you posing for the cameras and all glammed up? You hypocrite and a liar. President Trump was asked to take pictures and videos by the Gold Star families who, number one, invited him, and number two, whose children died under your watch because of your botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, which you took credit for, you stupid bitch. You can't lie your way to the White House, you stupid bitch. Don't you understand you're a stupid bitch? I could be wrong, guys, but I think Laura's trying to tell Kamala Harris something. I'm really having trouble understanding what it is, though. I just, sometimes I'm a little bit thick. What can I say? Yeah, and if you're wondering the video that Laura Loomer is referring to, let's pop this up here so everybody can see it. This is what Joe and Kamala did at Arlington National Cemetery. Watch this.
Present arms.
If I had to guess, given the way they're dressed, I would venture to say that was probably a Veterans Day observance. Heavy overcoats, looks like fall of the year. Yeah. And again, to go back to Laura Loomer's point, President Trump was asked to take pictures and videos by the Gold Star families. Well, I'm sorry, Kamala, if the former president was asked by the Gold Star families to take the pictures, that's up to them. That is entirely up to them. Yeah, I know. I really wish she'd tell us how she feels. I think Laura would be better served if she gets this crap out of her system. Just saying. Oh, goodness. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what? That does bear. Let me back that up for a second. I think I know the exact part you're referring to. Hang on. Yeah, I'll play this again because Ruben's absolutely right. Kamala didn't know what to do. If you're wondering what he's talking about, let me pop this up here. Watch this. Now stop right there. Saluting. President is saluting. Marine up here is saluting. She's not doing a thing. Let's fast forward. She looks over like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Look at that. She's looking over at him. What am I supposed to do here? I don't know what to do. And then finally she puts her hand on her heart. Yeah, it's almost as bad. It's almost as bad. TBA asks over on Rumble, was this the video where the military didn't have the right uniforms on? I think Derek Johnson said something was off with this particular ceremony. Now that I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Now, if that's the case, that's a whole other issue. Okay. Okay. So they're complaining, saying Trump's using the pictures for an ad, which is apparently not legal. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for that, Robert. I appreciate it. Now, I was not aware of that particular angle of it. So, yeah, Kamala's out there just raising all kinds of cane about this, and there's more going on to this than meets the eye, as is usually the case. Oh, by the way, by the by, I said that Kamala's starting to experience some problems. Now, if you're regulars here on the Electronic Front Porch or the Saturday Night Supper Club, as the case may be tonight, you will know that I have been mentioning something, a phenomenon that pollsters have been talking about as it relates to Kamala Harris. And it's not just pollsters either. Political pundits of varying stripes, be they conservative, liberal, down the middle, doesn't matter. And the phenomenon is called the sugar high. What's being referred to is this: that all these polls that are out there right now show Kamala Harris, with a lead, or she's taking over Trump in the battleground states, yada yada yada, etc. Now, a lot of people, and I say a lot of people, these are people that I trust. They're pollsters: Rich Lowry, Robert Cahaly at Trafalgar, Matt Towery of Insider Advantage, among others. But when it comes to this sort of thing, y'all know my go-to is Barris. Okay. They have made the comment that the sugar high sooner or later is going to start wearing off. Well, we've got some evidence that's come in today that the sugar high may actually be wearing off, and Barris and Mark Mitchell at Rasmussen, Matt Towery at Insider Advantage, Robert Cahaly at Trafalgar, and many others are absolutely right. The evidence is starting to come in. Now, let me set this up before I show you the graphic I'm going to put up. Last month, KSTP TV out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, had Survey USA do a poll for them of the state of Minnesota. Now, keep in mind, this is before Kamala Harris selected Tim Walz as her running mate. Now, as y'all are aware, Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota, the state where this poll was conducted. Okay. This was also before the Democrat National Convention in Chicago. Okay. So, with that in mind, Survey USA did a poll on behalf of KSTP Television out in Minnesota, and it showed Kamala Harris with a 10-point lead on Donald Trump. And again, this is before Tim Walz, the governor of the state, was picked as her running mate, and is before the Democrat National Convention. Well, Survey USA has just done another poll of the state of Minnesota, and Kamala has got problems. With that, I throw this graphic up for your consumption. This is a Survey USA poll of the state of Minnesota. Remember, she was up by 10 points. Okay. Her lead is now 5. It's been cut in half. And I'll call it margin of error, but that's probably not the right term. If Barris were here, he'd probably rap me over the knuckles. But their confidence that they are right with this poll is about 4.5. So basically, this thing is almost inside what guys like me would commonly call margin of error. Remember, they did a Survey USA polled Minnesota last month. She was up by 10 points. In a month, she's lost half of the lead she had on Donald Trump. And this is after she picked the state's governor as her running mate and after the Democrat National Convention. Now, let me be very fair about this. Do I think that Donald Trump is going to take Minnesota? Probably not. even if Joe Biden were still on the ticket, okay, I think Donald Trump still would have had a very hard time winning Minnesota. Okay. I mean, look, that state hasn't voted Republican in a presidential election since 1972. Between the historic trends and the fact that the governor of the state is the vice presidential nominee, the odds of Trump winning Minnesota are just, frankly, they're not good. I think it's going to be close. I think probably, if I had to guess, Kamala will probably do like Hillary Clinton did in 2016. She'll eke it out by anywhere from 1.5 to maybe 3 points, if I had to guess. And only because of the historic trends of that state and the fact that the governor is on the ballot. Okay. But the point is this. She's had multi-millions and billions of dollars in paid-for advertising and you can make an argument, in-kind contributions from the mainstream media. She's picked the governor of the state as her running mate. She's just come out of the Democrat National Convention, and the lead that she had last month has now been cut in half, which means the sugar high is starting to wear off. And if you don't believe that, let me point out something else to you. I mentioned the name Robert Cahaley of Trafalgar Polling. I also mentioned Matt Towery of Insider Advantage. They have just done a set of battleground polls for the states that everybody's keeping an eye on: North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada, etc. Well, folks, things may be looking up. Let me throw these up on the screen for you. Trafalgar just did a poll in Pennsylvania. According to Robert Cahaley's group, Trump's got a 2-point lead in Pennsylvania. Trafalgar also did Michigan. According to Trafalgar, they're tied. Wisconsin, Trump's got a 1-point lead. We mentioned the Minnesota poll a minute ago. Going on down the line, Insider Advantage polled Arizona. Trump's got a 1-point lead. Nevada, Trump's got a 1-point lead. North Carolina, Trump's got a 1-point lead. Georgia, they're tied. Now, I'm pointing all this out. Obviously, the campaign is not over and the election is not coming up on Tuesday. But the trend seems like it's there. Okay? Well, and this is my worry too, Robert. It's my worry. My worry is this, that Kamala is going to try and get it just close enough in each state that if the Democrats try and pull some shenanigans, and you know they will, because what's left? If they try and pull shenanigans and the margins are just close enough, and all of a sudden Kamala happens to win a state by 10,000 votes, 15,000 votes, 20,000 votes, it's believable. Because, hey, after all, the margins were just that close. I mean, I'm not surprised that Kamala won the state. I mean, after all, Donald Trump is this and this and this and this, and Kamala, she's joy. Oh, Pressler, you're right. He is a man on a mission. That boy, if he had enough manpower and money behind him, I swear he could swing Pennsylvania, and he could probably swing 2 or 3 other states if he had the money and the manpower. That is how maniacally focused he is about this. Thank God he is, because I'm starting to wonder about the Republican Party. No, I shouldn't say starting to wonder. I'm getting very nervous about the Republican Party. TBA says there are only 6 or 7 states that won't let RFK off the ballot, and the ballots are already printed for the cheat. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Very true. But my point is, in all this, and again, it's a long way to go, and a lot of stuff is going to happen. The sugar high is wearing off, if it's not completely worn off. Okay? Look, under normal circumstances, I don't put a lot of stock in debates moving the needle. And I have no idea what's going to happen on September the 10th. But I tell you what, for Kamala, there's a lot riding on it. If these polls are indicative of a trend, and remember, Mark Halpern of Newsmax earlier this week said the way it's going right now, the polling that he's seeing from inside the campaigns and from public polling, he's of the opinion that by the middle of September, Kamala could be in the exact same position that Joe Biden was after the debate on June 27th. If Mark Halpern is right, then that debate coming up on September 10th is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. Okay. All right. Hang on a second. Let's take a look at this. And by the way, folks, if you're new here to the Saturday Night Supper Club, we are all about the interactive. So if you got something that you think contributes to the conversation, tweet it at me. I'm on Twitter, the Front Porch C1, by all means. TBA says Harris is already in the same position Brandon was, in my opinion. Well, you might be right. You might be absolutely right, brother. All right, hang on a second. Let me grab this thing. Oh, okay. All right, hang on. We'll pop this baby up here. Apparently. Oh, yeah. I see what you're getting at now. Yeah, I see what you're. Oh, yeah. This is very naughty behavior. Joseph, what were you thinking? Okay, let me pop this up here. So apparently, Biden and Harris are just as guilty as anybody else of what they accuse Trump of doing. Check this out. Doesn't run very long, but it's worth looking at.
Magnitude of your loss. This I can promise you.
There's Biden at Arlington National Cemetery.
You'll never forget. May God bless you all. May God protect your troops.
Ooh. Oh, my. Oh, my. Poor. Very naughty, Joseph. Not good at all. Oh, mercy me. Oh, by the way, a little bit more on the polling. And then actually a funny kind of polling story. You'll get a kick out of this. On the basis of what Robert Cahaly at Trafalgar and Matt Towery at Insider Advantage, they put together an electoral college map. On the basis of their polling, and again, this is just, if those numbers are right, then here's what you'd be looking at in the electoral college. The only state that would be undecided would be Georgia. Okay. I think they're giving Nevada to Trump on the basis of other polls that have been done. But if Cahaly and Towery are right, this is what you'd be looking at in terms of electoral map. Good evening, Professor. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the Supper Club. But yeah, if their polling is right, Trump takes all three of the wise men, takes Arizona, takes Nevada, 296, and that's without Georgia. And that assumes she wins Virginia and Minnesota. Just saying. Just saying. Now, speaking of a funny polling story, you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Mark Cuban, one of the hosts on Shark Tank, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, or was the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he may have sold out his part of it, decided to go out on Twitter and do an unofficial poll. Now, everybody knows Mark Cuban is not supporting Donald Trump. Okay. Hang on a minute. Okay, let me finish this mid-mo. Let me finish this, and then I'll go take a look at it. Okay. Mark Cuban is definitely no supporter of Donald Trump. So, as everybody's aware, Mark Cuban, like a lot of people, he's out on Twitter, and he decided to do a poll. Well, his Twitter poll did not give him the results he was hoping for. From Fox News, Mark Cuban polls followers on preferring their kids to be like Trump or Harris. Trump wins a landslide by Jackson Thompson of Fox News. Dallas Mavericks minority owner Mark Cuban posed a question to his followers on Twitter on Friday in a now lopsided poll. And here's the question that Cuban asked. Whose persona and character would you like to see young children grow up to have? Cuban wrote in a two-way poll, with the two options being Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Trump is leading the poll with 65.7% to Harris's 34.3%, with over 645,000 votes at the time of publication. I think that's just absolutely funny. That's hysterical. Mark, that'll teach you. Okay, let me take a look at this thing that Midmo just sent me. Hang on a minute. I got to see what this is. Hang on. Okay, this looks interesting. Take a look at this thing. Not quite sure what this is, but you know what? You sent it to me. I'm intrigued. Let's check this out. See what you got here. Oh, this is Aurora, Colorado related. Oh, okay. Tell you what. Let me, Midmo, I'm going to because I got some Aurora stuff here. Give me a second. I want to tuck this into just the right place. Was it here? Was it here? Was it here? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, let me tuck this into my Aurora stuff. I will play this. I promise you. I will play this. And let me find that what oh, okay. M169, you sent me the same thing. Okay. All right. We got it covered, guys. We're gonna play that. Don't worry. All good. Okay. So now we're about ready to shift into a new topic. So let me do a real quick commercial since it's almost the top of the hour. If you have happened upon this live stream and you're wondering who is this handsome devil in the fedora and these fantastic people in chat on both Rumble and YouTube, well, let me tell you what we are. We are the Saturday Night Supper Club. We gather together on occasion, 6 o'clock on Saturday evenings, to talk about items in the news. We get to talk about the news. We share our views. Everybody gets to give their opinion. You can agree with us. You can disagree with each other. But we always try to have fun. We always try to be here to support. And if nothing else, we band together to try and make it through this crazy thing that we call life. If this is your cup of tea, if you like this sort of thing, then do me some favors. Number one, go ahead and subscribe to me on Rumble and YouTube. And if you're on YouTube with me already, check your subscription. Make sure they haven't bounced you off, they being YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, share the link around, leave some comments, tell your friends about us. We're trying to grow this great little deal into a great big deal. So your help would be appreciated. All right. Donald Trump holds a rally in Pennsylvania the other day, and there's some things out of it that I think are fairly worth interesting. And one of them is this great line. And I'll tell you what, never let it be said that Donald Trump is not aware of what's going on. And here he takes Kamala Harris to task on a very, very important subject. Okay. And with that, this runs about a minute, but it's worth hearing all of it. So folks, do me a favor and check this out.
Harris lost. Listen to these numbers, though. Seriously, if this were a Republican, they'd be stringing them up. Now listen to this number, because you have to understand what it means. 325,000 children have been lost. They've been allowed to be trafficked all across our borders. She flew in illegal aliens by the hundreds of thousands, and many of these were young children. But we have no idea where, think of the number, 325,000 children are missing. Many are dead. Many are involved in sex operations. Many are working as slaves in different parts of probably this country and probably many others. But she was the border czar. Now she says, I wasn't the border czar. But she was. It was headlines, border czar, border czar. But now she doesn't want that term. But whether she was a border czar or not, she was in charge of the border. 325,000 children are missing.
Just think about that, folks. I mean, not that I really want to, because that to me is just a horrible, it's truly a horrible thing. TBA says, is Trump inferring that the administration is the largest sex traffickers in the country? Yeah, I don't think it's an inference, brother. I don't think it's an inference at all. 325,000 kids. We have no idea where they are. I think Trump's right. Some of them are dead. Some of them have been mutilated, sold into situations that I don't even want to begin to think about. I've got great nephews and great nieces, and they're not my children. They're not my grandchildren. But you know what? I love these kids. I'm not necessarily in their lives every day like their moms and dads are, but whenever I do get to see them, it's joy. And I don't want to see that joy or their joy as children harmed in any way. 325,000 kids. Oh, yeah, I agree with you, Christian. I absolutely agree with you. TBA says it's enough to make you puke. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, to this question about Kamala Harris and the border czar, I was thinking about this the other day. I think it was M169 who said earlier that, Kamala is kind of screwed either way she goes. Well, on the whole border czar issue, she really is, because think about it for a second. If Kamala tries to say, well, I was put in charge of trying to resolve the root causes of mass migration to our border. Okay, well, let's stop and think about that for a second. You were put in charge of trying to do something about the causes of mass migration. Well, apparently you didn't succeed in anything, because they're still flowing across the border. If, on the other hand, you were put in charge as the border czar to shut down illegal immigration, you didn't do that very well. They're still flowing across the border. So either way you go, either thing that you claim that you're responsible for, you were a failure at. Miss Border Czar, Kamala Harris. Oh, yeah, this is absolutely true. Absolutely true. 325,000 kids, ladies and gentlemen. And she wants to be your president. Oh, by the by, did you guys hear about somebody that showed up at the Trump rally? Now, I'm going to tell you guys up front, I have never heard of this individual before. Okay? Never heard of him. But apparently in Latino culture, he is extraordinarily influential. He goes by the name of Anuel AA, a rapper, music creator, etc. He showed up at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania, and we've got a little bit of him speaking. So I'm going to put this up on screen. Like I say, I don't know a lot about this individual, but I found this to be fairly significant. Check this out.
Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here. For me, it's a real blessing to be here. I'm from Puerto Rico. We are a big part of United States. We really depend on the United States. Since Trump hasn't been around, Puerto Rico's, it's not a secret. We've been going through a lot as a country. And Biden always promised. A lot of politicians always promise through the years, but all of us know, the world knows, everybody's experienced it. The best president the world has seen, this country has ever seen. His name is President Trump. Thank you for having me here. To all my Puerto Ricans, let's stay united. Let's vote for Trump. I personally spoke with him. He wants to help Puerto Rico grow and succeed as a country. So let's stand out tall and united. And we all want to remember that. He wants to keep helping Latinos in the U.S. Let's do things the right way, and let's keep growing. Let's keep growing as a family, and let's make America great again. God bless y'all.
Okay. As I said, for my part, I have never heard of this individual, and I'm not speaking ill of him, yay, nay. I just don't know anything about him. But apparently, quite has the potential to be quite influential. He flew into Pittsburgh to meet with Trump. Okay. They met at the airport, exchanged some messages. How influential is this guy? He apparently, and this is Behizzy tweets, his name is Anuel AA. He's a pioneer of Latin music. He has almost 40 million followers on Instagram, 27 million on YouTube, and billions of people view his songs. Now, what does it mean in the long run? I don't know. But this person of some influence in the Latino community is coming out saying, you know what? I'm with Trump. I'm with this guy. Let's see what happens. I find that to be very interesting. And I bring it up because it just seems like there is a gathering of steam to Trump's campaign. First you had the RFK, then you had Tulsi Gabbard, which Gabbard wasn't necessarily the big surprise. RFK Jr. was. RFK and his people are bringing energy and passions and messaging to the campaign. There's a combining of MAGA and MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, which good. We need to. I mean, ours is a very sick country on so many different levels and in so many different ways. Anything we can do to make ourselves healthier, mentally, physically, or otherwise, I think is a good thing, a good goal. So yeah, I can get behind that idea. Now you've got this influencer in the Latino community. He's coming forward saying, yeah, I'm down with Trump. I'm with this guy. It just seems like there's an amazing synchronizing of energy that's just starting to flow and come together at just an extraordinary time. And by the by, have I got this here? Oh, one more thing from the Trump rally. I started to say a minute ago, never let it be said that Donald Trump does not have a way with words. Well, Trump has updated one of his more famous phrases, and I thought you guys might get a kick out of this. Here's a little bit of a palate cleanser for you.
If you look at Kamala and you look at what she's done to every place she's touched has turned to shit. Every single place she's touched. Have to say it. If you
have to say it. You know, sometimes people are worried about, should we let Trump be Trump? For moments like that, heck yeah. By the way, this is what I was looking for earlier. I mentioned that there's an interesting energy and a synergy right now. Nicole Shanahan, that put out that very interesting ad the other day about, independence. Okay. and it's been viewed widely around the internet and social media, and it's a fascinating ad. She's got another one out right now, and I will confess I have not watched this one yet, but I was intrigued after that first ad that she put together. Nicole Shanahan's got a new ad out, and this one intrigues me. This runs about 3.5 minutes. I'm going to tell you it's a little bit lengthy, but it really seems like it's worth it. So, folks, do me a favor, check this out.
This conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. Yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise.
Okay, they're going to tag me on this, but okay.
To protect its own security and that of its allies.
General, we got a message from Khrushchev which said that he would withdraw these missiles, providing we did not plan to invade Cuba.
Now the time has come for this nation to fulfill its promise. A country is as strong really as its citizens, and I think that mental and physical health, mental and physical vigor go hand in hand. A great change is at hand, and our task, our obligation, is to make that revolution, that change, peaceful and constructive for all.
Run in the shadows, damn your love, damn your life.
President Kennedy has been assassinated.
And if you don't love me now, you'll never love me again.
The time for debate is over. The time has come to unite. We are a strong and we are a courageous people. I am announcing today my candidacy for the presidency of the United States. I do not run to oppose any man, oppose his policies. Policies to end the bloodshed in Vietnam. Policies to close the gaps that now exist between black and white, between rich and poor. I run for the presidency because I want the Democratic Party and the United States of America to stand for hope instead of despair.
My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible?
Break the silence, damn the dark, damn the light.
If you're going to do anything important with your life, there's going to be a hero's journey where you go through the valley of death. You feel you're completely alone. When my uncle was president, everybody was talking about Camelot. And I ended up reading a book about Camelot called The Once and Future King. It gave me the capacity to process pain in a different way. The trick to life is to not have expectations, but just to know what your duty is and to do it. You become relentless. Nobody can defeat you.
Tonight, I'm very pleased to welcome Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Don't you want healthy children? And don't you want the chemicals out of our food? And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
That's good. I don't care if YouTube does pop me for that one. That's good. That is absolutely good. Very interesting. Like I say, there's a very unique synergy that's starting to happen right now. Now, not everything at the Trump rally the other day in Pennsylvania was good. Apparently, some crazy tried to get across the fencing and get to Trump. Check this out. they put that guy on the ground. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, one more thing, then we'll switch topics. Two more, actually. I mentioned Laura Loomer a little bit earlier. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it. We will absolutely talk about it. No, I'm not. Sorry, Midmo. Yeah, I'll definitely bring it up because yeah, I saw that the other day too. It definitely needs to be mentioned. Laura Loomer has a scoop on something that she's put out, and take it for what it's worth. I'm not necessarily endorsing this. I'm just saying this is what she's hearing. Okay. And this is from her tweet. A federal law enforcement agent has just told me that the New York State National Guard has started staging guardsmen in hotels around the New York City courthouse where President Trump is going to be sentenced on September 18th, as they are expecting that Trump will be taken into custody and sent directly to Rikers Island by Judge Juan Marchand. The source says the National Guard is being staged there because the mayor of New York City and the governor of New York both believe the police unions are preparing to stage a massive out-sick day in support of Trump on September 18th because none of the officers want to be involved in the persecution of Donald Trump. Guys, I don't know what, much like the debate, I have no idea what's going to happen on September 18th, but I will say this. If Juan Marchand if he does this, if he sentences Trump to jail and they try and take him in, the election's over. It doesn't matter how much cheating they're going to do. The election will be done. Oh, yeah, I have seen the same thing. Somebody's getting ready for something. I don't know what it is, but something's up. I have seen this separate from Loomer's report. I have seen the same thing floating around the internet. And again, take it for what it's worth. This is out there. Okay. All right. And this sort of goes to a piece of advice that somebody tried to give about how to protect Trump from the poster Ivan Raiklin. He's a former Green Beret. He's also a lawyer, etc. The only way for Trump to avoid the bogus jail sentence in September by Judge Marchand is for the House to nominate him as Speaker, which would give him immunity. Maybe we will do this this time around and finally do what I recommended back in January 2023. It's a good point. This is what Loomer's reporting. Yeah, this is what Loomer is reporting. So take it for what it's worth. We'll see. Okay, yeah, I've seen the videos. So I should say it's not just Loomer. That's true. That's very true, Gypsy. It's not just Loomer. There are videos all over right now. All over. So, tell you what, I'm kind of down to the dessert tray. So let me do something real fast. Whoops. Sorry. Hang on. I need to find something real fast because I had not planned on talking about this, but it definitely ought to be brought up. So let me get this pulled up real quick. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Have you guys heard about Tim Walz' brother down in Florida? Apparently, Tim's brother, and I believe his name is Jeff. Jeff Walz got into a conversation with someone on social media, and basically he's not that very hepped on the idea of his brother becoming the vice president. I've got a tweet here, and then I've got some slides to show you. I think you guys will get something of a kick out of this. Tim Walz's brother said he's considering joining forces with Trump, says his brother is, quote, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. This was on Facebook. Okay. Jeff Walz's Facebook profile was discovered by Laura Loomer, who found several stunning posts. Quote, the stories I could tell, not the type of character you want to be making decisions about your future, he said in a comment. Haven't spoken to him in 8 years. I'm 100% opposed to all of his ideology. My family wasn't given any notice that he was selected or denied security the days after. All these comments stem from a March 2023 post after Trump was convicted where Wall said we're becoming a third world republic. So check these out. Someone says, have you spoken to your brother? Talking about Tim Walz. Jeff says, haven't spoken to him in 8 years. 100% opposed to all his ideology. My family wasn't giving any notice that he was selected and denied security the days after. And here's another one. This lady, Liz O'Neill, says, well, help MAGA. Get on stage with Trump and endorse him. Help save the country. And Jeff Walz says, I thought hard about doing something like that. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. And that's from Tim Walz's own brother. Just saying. Thought you guys might enjoy hearing about that. All right, let us go to the dessert tray as we start to bring the supper club to a conclusion for the evening. Did you guys hear about Nancy Pelosi's interview with Bill Maher on his HBO show called Real Time? Oh, boy. Oh, Nancy, you San Francisco treat. Let me tell you something. Nancy's letting the cat out of the bag. Either she's in the bag drinking too much or she thinks she's got the election wrapped up. She let go some comments with Bill Maher that are just, oh my God. Folks, check this out.
The California lawmakers just passed a law. It hasn't been signed by Governor Newsom, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? I'm not going to say that's what the country's going to do, but that's certainly where California is.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to
But not free houses.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. But understand this about immigration. The best speech on immigration was by President Ronald Reagan. This is the last speech I will make as President of the United States. I want to communicate a message to the country I love. And he talked about the Statue of Liberty and the beacon of hope it is to the world, and what America was preeminent in the world because our door was always open, and we will cease to be preeminent when we shut the door. Now, I don't do justice to the great communicator. Google it. It's a fabulous speech. And George Herbert Walker Bush continued in that respect for the diversity of America and the rest. California's always in the lead. Maybe others will follow that lead, but that's up to those states. But we're very blessed here with beautiful diversity.
So you'd vote for this law?
Excuse me?
So you'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what it is, but making the American dream of home ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before your citizen. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented. The fact that we can move them to documented. One of the best things that we can do for our economy is to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
There you go, folks. I mean, look, I don't know how much more plain it needs to be said. They want to take all the undocumented, in their words, undocumented immigrants. No, they're illegal immigrants. Let's call them what they are. They are here illegally. They crossed our border without our authorization. They crossed our border without our authorization. They have broken the sovereign laws of our nation to get here. She wants to take every one of them and make them an American citizen. And while we're at it, let's just help them get a house. Guys, I don't know how much more plain you can make it than that. Don't know what to tell you. Now, by the way, have y'all seen what's been going on out in Aurora, Colorado? Man, just straight crazy. Just straight crazy. Got a couple of items here on Twitter that y'all might find interesting. Got a gentleman here who lives in Aurora. Says illegal immigrants are now extorting American citizens for rent. And I tell you what, let us, this runs about a minute. Let's listen in on what is going on out in Aurora. And believe me, it ain't good.
Dude, I've lived in Colorado now for like, I don't know, 4 months. And, you know, you started hearing about like the migrants and stuff in Aurora. And then it like escalated, you know, they're taking over fucking like more than one apartment complexes and like extorting residents for rent. Like, and I'm thinking to myself, what are we doing? Like they're saying that the police won't do anything, the feds won't do anything, marshals won't do anything. Okay, well, like where the vets at? Like I'm dead ass. Fucking hit me up. Like if we can get fucking couple squads plus, this is an invasion. This is an enemy domestic. Holy shit. Let's do it.
Yeah, and the kicker to it is the governor out there, Paulus, is telling everybody to just ignore the videos. Front Porch, what did you say? You heard me right. The governor is telling everybody to ignore the videos that they're seeing on social media. It's not even an issue. It's not even an issue that, honey, don't believe what you see with your lying eyes. It's an issue of, you know, don't believe what you see with your lying eyes. Ignore what you see with your lying eyes. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I saw it, Midmo. I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of people on their way to deal with the issue out in Aurora, I've got a tweet here. Over the last few days, Aurora residents have been asking the Hells Angels to pay a visit and help them with their current problem. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently the Hells Angels have decided to do something about this. And with that, check this out.
I hear the train is coming. It's rolling around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine. I don't know when. I'm stuck in cold the thread. That time keeps dragging on.
And the last clue.
But that train keeps rolling.
Yeah, the Hells Angels apparently have decided to roll in. Yeah. Oh yeah. The governor, I guess, is trying to convince everybody out there it's our imaginations. Yeah, buddy. Woo, baby. Woo, baby. Oh, yeah. Midmo sent me something. And I gotta share this one. I gotta share this. You know, Nancy Pelosi is a lot of things. And if you wonder what she's really like, in other words, what does she care about? This clip was just amazing. Let me pop this up here for you guys. She's a drunk. Well, yeah, she's definitely a drunk. But she's any number of different things. But I want you to listen to how she describes herself and Democrats in general when it comes to their objectives about winning elections. You got to hear this.
We're different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win.
What she's talking about is the worry about Joe Biden was he would cost them down ballot. And one of the reasons that she helped push him out is just that. We're cold-blooded and we're ruthless. All right, one last thing, and this is something to kind of lighten the mood in the evening. I found this today, and I thought, you know what? If I don't play this, I'm doing a disservice to you, my audience. As you all know, I am a fan of old television and I guess what you'd call old actors. But I'm also a fan of being a fan. Now, I want to set this up, and then I'll show it to you. After an amazing run on television as a live show, the Carol Burnett show on CBS came to an end. And the last night that Carol Burnett was on the air live, her co-stars set up an amazing surprise for Carol Burnett. And with that, this clip runs about 2 minutes, and this is what you call a professional becoming a little kid and a fan all over again. And with that, I hope you enjoy this.
Oh, I hate to kind of interrupt here, but you know, you have a favorite performer, and the guy's been here every week with his piano, and you've never let him on the show. And I think at this time, since it's the last show and everything, I'd like to take the opportunity to give the guy a break. So, do you mind? Excuse me.
The roughest, toughest man by far is ragtime cowboy Joe. He sings jazzy music to the cattle as they swing back and forward in the saddle on a horse, a pretty good horse with the 60 pace of gait and the roar of his repeater. It has such a funny meter how they run when he fires that gun, so the western folks all know that he's a highfalutin, rootin', tootin' son of a gun from Arizona. Ragtime cowboy, talk about your cowboy, ragtime cowboy Joe.
You don't know what this means to me tonight. This man has been my favorite actor for so many years. I have talked about him. I have worshipped him. I can't believe that you...
From a much better era of television and acting. I saw that clip and I went, you know what? I got to play that one tonight. It has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with anything else other than just a professional performer meeting one of her heroes and just becoming a little girl all over again. I thought that was just too cool. Anyway. All right. Let us start cleaning up the tables, putting the linens away, let you guys get your coats and get checked out of the Saturday Night Supper Club. All right. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. It has been an absolutely fantastic live stream. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun bringing all this stuff to you and talking about it and getting your reactions. Thank you for every comment. Thank you for every clip that you sent me. Thank you for everything you guys have done, sharing the videos, sharing the live stream tonight, putting out the word. Greatly appreciated, every single solitary last one of you. I will have my interview with John Cass up on the website sometime on Monday. I'm going to do some editing on it tomorrow, and I should have it up as a Labor Day kind of a treat. My plan at this point is we're going to be back Tuesday night, 7:30 live with another episode of Chatting on the Porch. Also, this coming week, we're going to be doing a live follow-along of Donald Trump's town hall on Fox News. Remember, this was supposed to be a debate with he and Kamala Harris. Well, Kamala apparently doesn't want to do it. So Trump's like, all right, fine, I'll just do a town hall on Fox. And Fox is like, okay, bring it on. So we're going to live stream cover that. So that's the plan right now. So anyway, you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys spend a lot of time with your families. Tell everybody that you love them. Thank you so much for being here. Again, we'll have the video interview with John Cass up on Monday, and we'll be back live 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. You guys have a great Labor Day weekend. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And remember, it's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, more money. Happy Labor Day weekend, folks.